Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. A Brexit deal has been reached, but it's unclear if it will pass in the British House of Commons. President of Waterford IT says the city needs a master plan that includes the expansion of the Institute. A Waterford councillor says the local authority should make it easier for local festivals to get insurance by grouping the events together and applying for blanket cover. And in sport, Ireland have made 3 changes to their team to face New Zealand in Saturday's Rugby World Cup quarter-final. The EU and Boris Johnson have agreed a Brexit deal, but the DUP insists it won't back it. The breakthrough came through this morning after final arrangements on customs, consent for Northern Ireland and VAT were made. However, the deal doesn't seem to have enough support in the House of Commons. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe is in Brussels.
Taoiseach Leo Varadkar staying quiet as he arrived in Brussels, where a deal's been reached between Boris Johnson and the EU. Under it, Northern Ireland would stay in the UK customs union but would collect some tariffs on behalf of the EU, and Stormont would get a vote on whether to change that 4 years after the transition period ends. EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier said it addresses the big concerns.
What really matters are the people of Northern Ireland and Ireland. What really matters is peace.
But the DUP are still not on board, as it creates a border down the Irish Sea they're unhappy with. EU Council President Donald Tusk doesn't know if they'll support it.
For me, the most important thing is the punchline, the final decision.
While Taoiseach Simon Coveney has said he's open to further talks with the DUP.
Our approach on this has always been to listen to all political parties, including both unionist parties.
But with Arlene Foster's party out, the deal looks doomed in the House of Commons, and so there's a feeling of Groundhog Day here, a different Prime Minister, but the same result. Sean Defoe in Brussels.
The president of Waterford IT says the city needs a master plan that includes the expansion of the Institute. There was talk in recent years about WIT acquiring the former Waterford Crystal in Kilbarry. However, owner Noel Frisbee plans to redevelop the site. Professor Willie Donnelly says the Institute, which is aiming to become a technological university, will have to expand.
As part of the development of Waterford, if Waterford wants to be a university city, which it should be, we need to have a look at the expansion. But if it's not to be the Crystal site, there are other sites around. We have 190 acres up in Carriganore. When we bought that in 1996, it wasn't within the city. It is now. There are other sites close to the Institute where we can look at, greenfield sites that we can develop.
He says Waterford has to become a university city.
Because a university city brings employment, it brings art, it brings culture. And this is something that we sometimes forget when we talk about Waterford. Waterford is a great city of culture. It's our oldest city. And the university is not just about technology and jobs. It's about art, culture. It's a way of life. We need to see how we're going to expand the footprint we have at the moment. We're already under, even to deliver the programmes that we have today, we need an extra 40,000 square metres to deliver that. So we need to develop a master plan where it's going to be.
Waterford Council should make it easier for local festivals to get insurance by grouping the events together and applying for blanket cover. That's according to a Fianna Fáil councillor. Many local festivals will be making applications to the council for funding in the coming weeks. However, some events were cancelled or rearranged last year in the face of rocketing insurance costs, such as Tremore's Promenade Festival. Councillor Eamon Quinlan says that since the council already funds many local festivals, it should consider applying for blanket insurance cover.
We've seen over the last year, both national media and local media, that festivals are getting slammed for insurance. Many can't continue with public liability insurance. Would it not make more sense, instead of sending each festival out to try and negotiate insurance in their own right, if we were to group the insurance together and use the economies of scale of 60, 70 festivals to try and get a blanket insurance to cover them all, to secure our festivals going forward and hopefully bring down the costs?
Council's Economic Development Officer Billy Duggan says Waterford Festivals should lobby the Association of Irish Festivals and Events to secure the change.
Unfortunately, we're in a position our insurers tell us unless we're 100% managing events, we can't insure it, we can't be involved, and that's why various groups have their own. But I'd suggest it's not just in Waterford there's a problem nationwide, that maybe if the festivals contact IFA, who is the umbrella for all festival and events, that maybe they might lobby the insurance industry to see can they get an insurance. But certainly, if we're funding an event, we have to make sure that the council is indemnified. That's the rules we have to operate on.
Credit unions are to start offering current accounts. Over 30 credit unions with 115 branches nationwide are to roll out the service in the coming weeks. Account holders will be entitled to unlimited point-of-sale transactions and up to 5 free ATM withdrawals per month. Owen McGee from Prosperous Financial isn't convinced the low cost will be enough to entice people to open accounts.
It's very difficult to replace a current account, and people are very reluctant to do it in terms of just the mentality of it and people deciding are they going to switch all that. And it has been made easier in the recent years where there's agreements between the banks that they do it and they do it seamlessly, but still people are very reluctant to do it.
Tusla Child and Family Agencies holding an information day in the Woodlands Hotel in Waterford between 7pm and 9pm this evening as part of National Fostering Week. Dolores Swift has been fostering children in Waterford for about 14 years now. She says it's all about helping children reach their potential.
It's not for everybody, but I think that if you start, you just fall in love with it. The kids, you just have to help them along, show them love, understanding. They want people that have life experience. They're not looking for people that have no blemishes. They're looking for just people down to earth that know what life is all about.
The Waterford Local Enterprise Office is hosting a networking event to inspire and educate the next generation of female entrepreneurs. That's happening at the Tower Hotel this afternoon as part of National Women's Enterprise Day. Muireann Fitzmaurice will deliver a workshop on developing leadership and followed by business strategist Claire Dillon. Waterford National Women's Enterprise Day Ambassador Sinead Queally, who's Managing Director of Virtual Vet, will give an insight into her journey. The event takes place from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the Tower Hotel in Waterford this afternoon. A unique concert celebrating the beauty of the Comeragh Mountains takes place in Waterford tomorrow. In High Places is a mix of poetry, music and song and kicks off the John Dwyer Trad weekend at the St Patrick's Gateway Centre. It's part of the Imagine Arts Festival. Ollie Breslin is a committee member.
We have a great potential here to bring in loads of tourists, both from the UK and from Europe, to Waterford for that festival. And that's what we'll be working on in years to come, because we really feel that the Trad Festival needs to get a little more publicity nationally and internationally, because it's a really genuine Trad Festival. It's like something, if you went to County Clare or County Donegal, as I said, this is the kind of festival you would see. And yet we have it here in Waterford, and it's brilliant.
WLR Sport.
Very good afternoon, I'm Gavin Whelan. First to rugby, and Ireland have made 3 changes to their team to face New Zealand in Saturday's Rugby World Cup quarter-final. Peter O'Mahony returns in the back row, with Rob Kearney getting the nod to start at full back. Rory Best captains the side for the 38th time, as 12 of the 15 selected were in the team that beat the All Blacks last November. With Bunty Aki suspended, Gary Ringrose comes in alongside his Leinster teammate Robbie Henshaw in midfield. Henshaw says the team are aware of the task of facing the side against the defending champions.
It's a huge challenge for us. I know every fan would be really G'd up for this, and we are as players. It's an incredible tournament to play in, and to be playing potentially the best team in the world is an added bonus. So it's going to be a huge occasion.
Kick-off is at 11:15am Irish time. England have dropped George Ford for their quarter-final against Australia. Owen Farrell is selected at 10, while Manu Tuilagi and Henry Slade are chosen as the centre pairing. Next to news of Gaelic Games, where the countdown is on to Sunday's much-anticipated County Senior Football Championship final. County final fever has gripped Rathcormac as they gear up for Sunday's unique decider with Balnacourty in Fairfield. It's the first time ever that the two sides will clash in a senior county final, and it promises to be an intriguing battle, with both sides impressive in their march to the final. Rathcormac manager Ger Power says there's a great build-up around the area.
Yeah, Gavin, it's a big occasion for the club. We haven't been in a final since 2001, and there's great excitement around the village, and the bunting and the flags are up and the signs are up, and there's great excitement and everybody's really looking forward to it now.
Throw-in is at 3:30. WLR will broadcast the game live thanks to George Corbett-Skoda with commentary team Tomas McCarthy and Jason Ryan. Next to soccer, Waterford FC and Finn Harps will meet for the fourth and final time tomorrow night when they clash in the penultimate round of games in the Airtricity League Premier Division. On their last visit to Ballybuffet, the Blues were beaten 3-2 when Harps scored the winner in stoppage time. Finn Harps also won at the RSC on one occasion, but Waterford defeated them 4-0 in the other match at the Kilbarry venue this season. Blues midfielder Tom Holland told Matt Keane that he would love the season to be starting and not coming to an end with their recent good form.
Yeah, we want to end the season well. Obviously we've been on a good run. It was a disappointing result the other day, but we're looking to end the season well.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's a pity the season should be starting, not finishing, isn't it? Because you're on a brilliant run in the league.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're thinking. It's a shame we didn't start like this when I first come, but performances have been good and results have been good, and hopefully we can continue that.
Kick-off in Donegal is at 8pm. WLR will bring you all the action live thanks to Clem Jacob Hire with commentary team Ray Scott and Matt Keane. Our coverage kicking off at 7:45. Cross-Channel Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is confident he will be given time to rebuild Manchester United. They're currently 15 points behind Premier League leaders Liverpool and without a win in 5 games going into Sunday's clash at Old Trafford. Solskjaer insists the money is available even to spend big in the next 2 transfer windows.
We are planning, we are looking, we're finding our targets. Just before the transfer window ended, no, they weren't there. The ready-made players. But the resources are there if the right players are available.
Sunderland have named Phil Parkinson as their new manager. The League One club sacked Jack Ross earlier this month after winning 5 of their first 11 league games. In golf, Graham McDowell is in a tie for 9th place on 4 under par after his opening round at the CJ Cup in South Korea. The lead is held there on 8 under par by local favourite Benan. Gavin Moynihan's opened with a 3 under par round of 68 at the French Open in Paris. He's 3 strokes off the lead there. Paul Dunne 6 over after 16 holes. And finally for now, 2 news of racing with the action already underway out there in Tramore. It's students, WIT Students Race Day, of course. The first race there was won by Alpha Mix, the 11-4 favourite. That was the 12:30. The 1 o'clock has just concluded at the Tramore venue. Macho Mover coming in first place there at odds of 4-1. Second, also at 4-1, was Duville Society, while Shedding finished in third at odds of 10-1. 5 more races to go there at the local track. And jockey Jack Kennedy is facing up to 6 weeks on the sidelines after fracturing his collarbone in a fall at Punchestown yesterday. The Kerry rider suffered the injury when he fell from the Gordon Elliott trained swordsman. Kennedy won 6 Grade 1 races last season, with 3 of them on Apple's Jade. That's the latest on WLR. More at 2.